Hello everyone, welcome to my pattern making and sewing workshop. Today we are making a basic pattern for women's jeans in CLO. The first step for making pattern for any garment is choosing the right avatar in CLO and getting some measurements. Uh, for this tutorial, I'm going to use CLO default avatars uh, by going to the library, clicking on avatar, female, and I'm going to choose Emma. Double click on it and add it to my 3D uh, space. You could choose any other avatar, but I just preferred Emma for this tutorial. By looking at her, I can see she's small, so I go to the sizes folder here and choose a size which is closest to my measurement or the person I'm going to make a pattern for. By experience, I know that Missy Straight size 10 is closest to my measurement. So I double click on that and the avatar size will change. You can anytime check the avatar's measurement by clicking on this tab and go to avatar editor and see her measurements. You see that her bust is 36 point a quarter, waist is 30 point half, and low hip 39 point half, and her height is 65.5. So these are the basic measurement I see when I want to choose an avatar. If you have a pretty standard body shape, these are enough for you to have a pretty close avatar. So I'm happy with this avatar, but still for my pants measurement, I need to take some measurement from this avatar. First of all, I see she's wearing heels. I don't want my pants to be worn on heels. I want her to wear sneakers. I'm going to change her shoes by going to, again, avatar folder, female. And choose some sneakers. Okay, now she's grounded, so I'm happy that she's not you need to make sure that she is standing on the floor and there's no gap between her shoes and the floor. In order to make sure, I just right click and move avatar to ground so that I know that she's grounded. Now I want to take some measurements. As you see in this chart, I need some measurement from her waist, hip, inseam, outseam from the avatar, and I get knee and hem measurement from my sample because each pants might have different knee and hem. It might be a skinny leg, it might be wide leg, so you can get these from a garment you like. And add the half measurement, add the half measurement here, of course, not the circumference. For the waist, hip, we have circumference measurement, and for the inseam and outseam, we measure them the way I'm going to show you in a second. Okay, we start by waist, and we go to this icon. You see there's some tools. We choose the basic circumference measurement. And when we click on that, we see CLO already has some lines drawn, but the waist measurement on CLO is a bit too high for me, for my jeans. So I'm going to bring it down to here. And if you want to keep the line straight, press Shift. I'm going to go a bit lower. If you're not happy, always you can change. Bit higher. Okay, I'm happy with this, which is closest to what I had measured, prepared to 31.5 for waist. For the hip measurement, you can choose a CLO measurement, which we saw in Avatar Editor before. It's on the fullest part of her hip, so we are happy with that measurement. I can also double check with my measuring tape and press Shift to make sure it's straight. Yeah, it's very close to CLO measurement. Next, we want to see the inseam measurement. For the inseam measurement, I measure how I would do on a customer. I take the measuring tape, basic tape measure, and from here, a little bit lower than crotch point, up to the floor. In CLO, we have a tool called height measure avatar. This icon, I'm not sure if you can see, but this is the icon you should choose, and it measures from the floor to where you mark. You can also press this icon to show avatar measurement, which is showing. Okay, so I put it a little bit lower than her crotch point, and I get a 30-inch inseam, which I'm happy with. For the outseam measurement, we cannot do the same thing because we cannot grab this curve of the side with this tool. So we use the basic tape measure. But we need to make sure as we are measuring from the waist down, we left click to put some anchor points. Otherwise, the measuring tape would go inside the body. We don't want that. And just make sure you're adding your point on the side seam. And make sure you put one on your calf too. It's important. Otherwise, it goes inside. As you see, it's going inside the body. And the last point on the bottom of the foot. So I get 38.9. But you see my outseam is bigger because I had measured inseam to the floor. And I know I have shoes that are higher than the floor by 7-8. I have added that measurement to my outseam. If you want to measure your heels, you don't see the shoes here, but you can always measure with the same tool we had for measuring inseam, height measure. You can measure here, and you see you have 7/8 of an inch for the heel. So I add this measurement to my outseam and I get this measurement, 39 and 2/3 of inch. So I have finished measuring my avatar and I have my needed measurement. Next step is some calculation, which I'll show you in a few seconds. The calculation you see in the image are from a method called CSM, which I have recently found, and I found it to be less complicated than traditional method I've already used, like Muller or metric. So I'm going to try this method now and see how our patterns come out. As you see, we don't need a lot of calculations. We need front waist, which is waist divided by 4 plus 3/8, back waist, which is waist divided by 4 minus 3/8, crotch height, which is outseam minus inseam, the measurement we found before, and we have front knee, which is half of the knee minus 3/4, back knee half of the knee plus 3/4, front hem half of the knee minus 3/8, and back hem half of the knee plus 3/8. and some percentages which we'll see how they will be used when we are drafting the pattern. You can take a snapshot of this and use it for your reference. And now that we have our calculations done, we can start drafting our pattern. First, with the rectangle polygon tool, I create a rectangle with 20-inch width and 48 height, which are not fixed measurement. They can change, but we just choose them to have a base. So don't worry about that. We place it here. I minimize my 3D window for now. Okay, so first thing we want to do is to put a central line. So by edit pattern tool, I press shift and select these two lines and distribute interline in between. So this is my central line that will be my balanced line later too. Next thing, we want to have our inseam line. So we choose this line and offset as internal line and put our inseam length, which is 30, here. This is our crotch length, crotch line. Next, we want to have our hip line. Choose this line, offset as internal line, and put 2 3/4, which is a fixed number in this method. This line shows our hip line. Let me minus my 3D window so we have more room. We want to have our knee line. We choose our crotch line, which is this lower line, and hem line while pressing shift and then right click and distribute internal line between. Okay, this is the line which is in the middle of crotch line and hem line. However, we want to move it up by 2 inch because it will be, see, even if you see it in comparison in our avatar, it's a bit lower. So we want to move it up by 2 inch. I press shift while holding left click on mouse and then right click and put 2 inches. This is our knee line, which is very aligned with avatar 2. Next, we want to mark our hemline and knee line at front and back. You see my front knee is, front hem is 7.63. I want to put half of it at each side of the internal line. So I first, I right click on this line and extend and trim and add point to pattern outline. Sorry. Now these two lines are separated. Then I click on this line and split. And I put half of this amount, which is 3.81 here, and same amount on this side. And you see the difference between front hem and back hem is 3.8. So I just split this line to 3.8 and split this line to 3.8. And for the knee, first I'm going to add a point in intersection. Then I do the same thing, but knowing my front knee, which is 8.25, which will give me 4.18 on each side. And the difference between my knee at front and back is 3/4, so I split the line on each side by 0.75. Okay, now I have my hem and knee point at front and back. Next, I want to do my percentages and draw the line for my front crotch. So I select this line, right click, and offset as internal line, and I make sure it goes to the left side, and I put my 21%, the first percentage I have here, I calculated, which is 4.15. Okay, then I need to select this point and drag this up because I want it to be only a little bit lower than my crotch point. Not here, of course. Then I select this line, which I have reduced the height up to below crotch line. Right click on it and add point to intersection. Okay. I don't need that one. I don't need this point. So here I'm going to divide internal point. Next, we want to make the 10% mark on our crotch line. So we're going to split this line by the amount of 10%, which we calculated before is 1.98 here. So I'm going to split this line by 1.98. Then right click and add a perpendicular internal line and reverse the direction because I want it down and I don't want to extend it. I want it to be only 2 inches low. Okay, then I want to move this line the same amount it is distancing away from this line forward for my back crotch point. So I'm going to select this line. First of all, add a point here. So you see this amount is 1.98. I want to move this line the same amount, 1.98. Okay. Next, I want to mark my front hip line here on my hip line. So I use this 47% measurement, which is related to my front hip, and I want to measure it from here to here. I need an intersection point here, so I right click here, add point to intersection. I don't need this one, so I delete this point and split this line. By the amount I have for 47, which is 9.28. Okay, now I want to mark my back hip line, which is related to this 55% hip, but I need to measure it from 38 away from front hip line. So I measure here 38, split. And I basically need to measure my back hip measurement from this point and extend over here. So I see this measurement is 8.9. I need to minus it from 10.86. Gives me 196. So I split this line. At 1.96. Okay, this is my hip point for back.